A heavy wooden door moans as it swings open, echoing into walls carved with symbols older than any map. I step forward, invitation clutched tight, slippers brushing plush velvet layered over stone. Torches gutter in shadowed alcoves, gold threading catching moonlight as I cross the threshold. The air tastes of rosewood and something sharper, ozone before a storm. 12 hooded elders stand at silent attention, eyes veiled, hands hidden in sleeves as I move to the heart of the room. My pulse hammers louder than my footsteps. Against the hush, the master elder motions. "Begin," he intones, voice slow, never quite betraying curiosity or fear. I slide the recorder onto the ancient table. My voice, my song, plays, notes rising, trembling, drifting through the vaulted chamber. Candles stutter, wax weeping down twisted stems. Banners, gold on crimson, seem to ripple as if inhaling the melody's secret. Shadows bend. The marble beneath my feet warms unexpectedly, as if remembering this tune from another age. An elder's breathing grows ragged. Her fingers tighten beneath the velvet, knuckles pressing against an old talisman. She whispers, half to herself. It's as if the walls know the song. Another exchanges a nervous glance, lips mouthing words I almost recognize. A prayer? A warning? The room shudders. Shadows bunch darker around a blue-silver archway. One of the youngest elders risks lifting his hood just enough to see me. "Where did you learn this?" he asks quietly, voice shaking. What does it ask for? I hesitate, unsure if I am the musician or merely the conduit. It came. I only remembered, not composed. The melody crests, high, unsettling, candles gutter with one last shimmer. Gold inlays across a stone arch flash, then fade. For a heartbeat, every elder freezes, attention pinned on the lingering final note. When silence falls, it is not peace, but the heavy hush of decision, an unspoken agreement that whatever has entered this chamber, it cannot be invited easily again. Gathering his velvet sleeve, the master elder clears his throat, voice rough as he commands. No repeats. The song's power is spent. For now. I lower my head, unsure if I was meant to give a gift or deliver a warning. Still, as I turn, I notice the banners trembling, one candle rekindling with a flicker of green flame. My song lingers, neither banished nor welcomed. Only the chamber's hush, charged and waiting, remains, asking each soul what it would risk to listen, and what secrets are safer kept in shadow. The elders gather closely as the echoes of my song fade, faces shrouded in shadow. The master elder gestures, his ring flashing dull gold in the candlelight. "Before you leave this chamber," he begins, tone grave, "there are questions not even tradition dares answer. Describe for us the root of your melody. Where did you first hear it? In a dream, ritual, or blood?" I pause, searching memory's depths of my memory. "And pieces lingered in my family," I say, fingers tracing the hem of my sleeve. "My grandmother once sang to me at crossroads, always if we traveled at dusk. A lullaby with words that changed, as if not meant for daylight. She called it the protector's hymn, but never wrote it down. Other times I felt a verse slip into my hands without warning. On train rides, in childhood fever, moments something was lost or nearly found." An elder leans forward, drawing a leather-bound hymnal from the shadows. "Nothing in our archive matches this sequence," he confesses. Yet I find myself humming parts of it, unbidden, after so many years. He flicks the edge of an old page, voice tinged with curiosity and doubt. Another elder, scent of frankincense lingering as he shifts, speaks softly. songs at crossroads. Some say they come from wisdom we inherit and forget, until need recalls them. Did you compose, or did the melody choose you? His eyes search mine, searching for intention or innocence. I glance toward the banners, symbols shifting as the question hangs, heavier than the room itself. I can't claim authorship, I admit, truth tightening my voice. Maybe I carried it without knowing, waiting until the moment I called it out. Maybe it's meant to be remembered, not owned. When I hum it alone, it feels like tapping into something older than any one path. For a long moment, no one speaks. The Master Elder closes his hands around a small sigil, eyes distant. Some melodies awaken only when crossroads demand them. Another elder, her fingers trembling, whispers, or when a chosen remembers they're not alone. The air thickens, the hymnals settling beside us, a faint page turning in the charged quiet. The chamber's candles burn down, frankincense mixing with something sharper as the elders linger in memory and uncertainty. I leave, unsure if I've provided answers or stirred older doubts, my own breath heavy with the possibility that this song is both inheritance and invitation, its echo promising more questions with each note left unsung. A heavy hush settles as I return, the chamber arranged in new symmetry, salt circle drawn, talismans clutched, elders straight-backed around the stone table. The Master Elder's head lowers, his voice barely a ripple. We play the music again, once, rituals in place. Candles flicker, salt lines shimmer blue, each elder placing a palm on an engraved relic, one a sun-etched stone, another a brass ring. My body hums with dread and responsibility. As the melody begins, the elders chant, a single wordless note, meant to anchor spirit against whatever the song unlocks. The notes crest, shadows pulse, gold inlay on the archway flickering like sudden lightning. One elder squeezes a talisman, hand shaking. "What is that pressure?" he gasps, breath sharp. My heart feels. Another chokes a sob, unexpectedly overcome, tears streaking his wrinkled cheek. Third lets out a prayer in a lost language, talisman humming and cracking as the song's highest note rings out. Narration cuts through. With each repetition, ancient energies converge, weaving through salt, stone, and flesh. The room feels smaller, yet vaster, air thick with intertwining rituals. A silence falls as the last note fades. The youngest elder collapses onto his knees, breath ragged, salt line before him, burning brighter for a split second before dimming to gray. A pause. The Master Elder's shoulders slump. "No more," he commands, voice frayed, eyes wild with fear and awe. He scoops shards of his broken amulet into his palm. Not again. Whatever has been roused, it was meant for protection or prophecy, not for pride or proof. One by one, the council rise, exchanging silent glances. Some hands tremble, others grip salt-stained tokens. Another whispers, "We are now part of it, whether ready or not." As candles falter, their blue flames gutter and a shard of the cracked amulet rolls to my feet. I kneel, picking it up, feeling heat pulse through the stone. The chamber isn't the same, protection shaken, tradition stretched. I look up and meet the eyes of each elder, wondering if any are truly unchanged. The melody's echo lingers, not only as memory, but as a living thing, shifting the chamber's gravity, demanding vigilance, humility, and a new kind of courage. The chamber feels changed, old echoes stirring as my song's influence slips far beyond these walls. Somewhere in Istanbul, water glimmers at sunset. A dervish pauses mid-spin, head tilted, lost to the rhythm emanating from a nearby cafe. It's the ancient melody, the cafe owner says softly, setting a blue glass down. Outside, the city sounds hush as the last note lingers, a ripple dancing across the Bosporus, lantern light trembling on the water's skin. In Ghana, a drummer jerks awake before dawn, sweat gleaming on his brow. Did you hear it too? He whispers to the night air, fingers searching for the drumbeat he's never learned but already knows. At a midnight bonfire framed by violet smoke, elders gather, sharing the dream, melody looping through stories generations old, each remembering symbols twisted in the flames, spirals, birds, vibrant lines in chalk. Messages arrive from Kathmandu, Oaxaca, and Lapland. Music teachers reporting children singing lost words in unison, elders matching the cadence to prayers only spoken during eclipses. A Turkish healer lights a candle, tracing the pattern in ash, voice trembling. We kept it secret for protection. But this is an awakening, isn't it? She says, hope and worry chasing each syllable. Those who've never met begin writing. There's a current running through us all, heightened, pulsing. We used to call for protection. Now I feel I'm part of an old procession. The world's faith traditions respond not with rivalry, but recognition. Local rituals adapt. Sufis add a verse to their whirling Ghanaian families shape talismans with new marks. Healers from the Carpathians to Java gather at crossroads or under moonlight, playing fragments on old flutes and bells. Even the skeptics waver, their routines disturbed by the energy shifting in stonework, in the hush before rain, in stray lines sung by children at dusk. The music's reach is neither uniform nor explainable. Each culture feels a different chord. Istanbul reflects the melody in water and lanterns. West Africa shapes it in fire and story. Distant cities sense its touch in minor ways, a shared silence or a new resolve. The stakes feel altered, the song weaving the world's spiritual threads tighter, not just as myth, but as lived reality. As another night falls, someone hums the tune beside a glowing fire, unsure if it's a warning, a promise, or simply the next step in remembering a secret shared across continents. All at once. All for those willing to listen with awe. A jagged silence clings to the chamber, thicker than the dust swirling at my feet. After the melody's echoes fade, the elders withdraw into a heated council, robes brushing stone as they debate beneath tapestries, heavy with signs. The master elder's eyes burn with intensity, voice trembling as he speaks above the whispers. We must decide. Do we risk unraveling what's been guarded for centuries, or do we let caution win? One elder, hand shaking over a shattered sigil, implores, "Listen again. We missed something. I'm certain there's a warning hidden." Her words falter as she clutches the fractured token, gaze darting to the doors, as if knowing too well the cost of misstep. Another rises, fists clenched, determined, no. The song's power is unstable. It calls things best left dreaming. I refuse to change it. Our duty is protection, not curiosity. The youngest among them glances at me, torn between pride and fear. What if this is the sign we've been waiting for? He asks, searching the faces of his elders. The only answer is the hush as a steel lock, cold and final, slams over the recording chest. Narration presses in. The verdict is swift, severe. No second hearing, not for the council, not for anyone. The master elder seals the stone box, hands trembling visibly as the key is handed to him. Access is forbidden. Even the record of tonight's gathering will be minimized. As torches gutter low, regret and relief spark across tense faces. Some elders clutch their broken amulets, Others cross arms as if to shield their hearts from what lingers. The forbidden song's echo is tangible in the charged chill hovering between us. No comfort, only more unresolved questions. I step back, senses raw. All I've offered is now hidden behind steel and ceremony. The melody's fate as guarded as the histories carved on these ancient walls. No one knows when or if the melody will be heard again. But from the council's unease, I sense the decision has changed everything, and the world may never quite forget what was nearly revealed. As the days pass, the secret refuses to stay contained. Word escapes the chamber, whispered between corridors, hinted at in coded letters, bubbling up onto city streets. Across Europe, mystics light blue candles in their windows, the wax pooling on cold sills like melted echoes. If we cannot hear the song, we must shield ourselves from what stirs behind it, murmurs a medium in Prague, tracing ancient sigils in the blue with a trembling finger. In Paris, a radio host breaks the silence. Some say it's just a myth, a fancy. He laughs, but his next guest hesitates. I heard my grandmother hum a verse last night, one she never taught us at dawn, eyes still closed. Skeptics demand proof. Let them produce the recording if they're so certain, headlines shout. City gossips churn out fresh rumors every afternoon. Yet quietly, strange things unfold. Sensitive souls report vivid dreams, family secrets rising unbidden. An old tune slipped between lullabies, forgotten charms found tucked in ragged hymnals. Some say their neighborhoods feel different, lighter or more electric, as if the melody had unlocked hidden currents beneath the pavement itself. A tarot reader in Rome collects newspaper clippings, cryptic headlines, whispered warnings, signs drawn in fresh ash on ancient stones. In Berlin, young poets leave verses pressed into library books, each line a chord from the banned song. Wherever the story travels, something, unseeable but present, shifts just out of hearing. Through all the noise, the city's energy wavers, part fear, part anticipation. Blue flames flicker on doorsteps at midnight, as if awaiting a blessing or a warning. Above all, the echo of a song that no one played twice hums in the quiet moments. A question, an invitation, or a soft demand for courage to listen to what cannot be fully explained. Mist rises from damp stones as I follow a hidden path to the old spring, the hush broken only by the lilt of wind chimes. No breeze, just music threading the silence. The geomancer, short and sturdy, gives a knowing nod. Certain melodies, she says, voice steady as the earth, aren't meant to travel far. They're bound to the bones of places, held in song by those who listen with patience. She unrolls a parchment map, marked with spiral notations and star-shaped etchings. Crossroads, she explains, tapping the faded edges. Stone circles, river bends. Hear it? That's where the harmony repeats, carried in secret or sung to the stones. Her companion, a Lakota elder, lays a palm against the earth. Sound can shelter what memory forgets, he murmurs. At our old springs, we hum for safety, not for show. We gather near the spring's edge, boots slick with moss. I close my eyes, hearing a faint resonance underfoot, stones pulsing with echoes of the hidden melody. Some tunes seal a threshold, the geomancer cautions. Unlock them only if you intend to honor the guardians, never out of pride. She scatters fresh sage into the water. The ripples ring out, dancing with points of white light. As stories are exchanged, of stones humming warnings at solstice, of wind chimes tolling for absent ancestors, the bond between watcher, place, and song becomes clear. At every mapped site, rituals shift. In Wales, bells at dawn. In Java, woven grass charms left by forest paths. Here, a simple hum under moonlight. When I rise to leave, the Lakota elder presses a small stone into my palm, a spiral carved into its center. Keep the earthen melody quiet inside you, he offers, until another needs its protection. The chimes sing once more, clear and sudden, and the world feels steadier, not fully explained, but better guarded, held in trust by those who understand some music is meant only for the crossroads. The scholar's apartment is thick with the scent of ink, old paper, and candle smoke. Spread across the desk, linguists' notebooks flicker in the lamplight, while a shaman rolls out an embroidered cloth dotted with runes and awkward sketches. The air crackles. Tonight, every word is a question, every note a clue. A linguist peers through his rimless lens, lips pursed. This isn't just music, it's code. Here, a phrase repeating backwards. Are you hearing it? He plays the recording in reverse. A line emerges, haunting. Guard the spiral, awaken at threshold, he pronounces, voice tight with wonder. Beside him, a cryptographer marks patterns in the song. These aren't random, they're tonal sigils, like an old spell hidden in melody. A shaman, face painted with ash, fingers a knotted cord. Ritual songs worn and welcome in the same breath. This verse, over the bridge, resembles a Navajo chant for crossing into healing, but twisted, protective. See these notes? They form the symbol for return and the rune for danger. He closes his eyes, humming low. A theologian, brow furrowed, shuffles tattered manuscripts. Prophecy threads through symbol, she murmurs, reading aloud from faded parchment. When the chosen melody returns, cycles break and awakenings burn away the fog. But not all who sing with power leave the world unchanged. Her hand trembles as she traces a spiraling rune into drifting candle smoke. Arguments rise. Some experts see hope, a global awakening, a chance to heal old divisions, while others sense peril. Not every prophecy promises safety, warns a linguist, pointing to a sigil that means both key and sacrifice. The song's true meaning fractures across the group. Warnings, charms, calls to gather, joined by a web of forgotten languages. Diagrams flicker across the walls as projected alphabets shift from Greek to Nahuatl, runes to ciphertext, each glimmering a different truth. The melody's lines trace through, faded smoke, briefly etched in air before the drafts erase them. Isn't it strange, a shaman reflects, how every language meets in the same spiral? Arguments drift into silence. No one claims to hold the whole meaning. Instead, the group sits quietly, breath mingling in the charged glow, every note and symbol deepening the room's uncertainty. A mystery now collective, yet still asking something more of every listener. Which line or symbol from the song's secret language would you want to understand most? Comment below and unlock the next code together. The ritual room is dim, air weighed by candles burning low and the faint resonance of unsung chords. A volunteer, breath steady, closes her eyes. Ready, she whispers, clasping a jade pendant to her chest. On a slow exhale, the recording begins. The melody unspools, low, coiling notes. Instantly, one listener sags, fingers splayed on stone as spiral shadows curl across the floor. A second volunteer, mouth parted in wonder, begins to hum in response. I see a staircase turning blue in the dark, he stammers, voice distant. Something's waiting at the top, but it's not alone. A guide quietly marks their pulse, notes the flicker of eyelids, the tension humming from talisman to wrist. Elsewhere, a listener's head drops, face full of tears. She mumbles, words thick. Grandfather's voice, guiding, warning, don't let the flame go out. The guide gently brushes sweat from her brow, eyes shining as a ripple of warmth moves through the circle, jade pendants and spiral rings pulsing in gentle rhythm. Another, stoic until now, gasps. Blue fire, ancestors. They're speaking, but the words tangle. He presses a spiraled stone to his lips, as if to anchor to waking life. Across the room, two listeners seem to dream side by side, their gestures mirroring. Left hand curled above their hearts, right hand tracing the aurora of sound arching above unseen doors. The chant leader asks softly, "What returns with you?" One, newly awake, stares at her hands. "Marks, here in my palm. They weren't there before." Another murmurs, "I remember a place I've never seen. It feels sheltered, but dangerous too." A volunteer who never quite fell under shutters and confesses, "I wanted to hide the song, not share it. But it knows who's listening." Candle flames arc green, then settle gold. As dawn seeps into the room, spiral shadows fade and clues from dream linger. Visions of journeys unfinished, warnings that sift through waking thoughts, an urge to return and protect something sacred, even if unspoken. One by one, the participants rise, some solemn, some changed, all carrying new traces of memory or gift. A hush falls. The guide draws a small sigil in salt, sealing the session. "Each vision is a door," she says quietly. "You opened one, but it's not yours alone to close." The floor seems to warm beneath every step. As they move, back to daylight, many clutch pendants, others memorize the lines they now trace in the air, and a few carry talents they can't explain. The city outside feels sharper, softer, forever tilted by what was glimpsed beneath the surface of a single secret song. Red beams flicker across a steel vault in the underground corridor, slicing through shadows like silent alarms. In a back room packed with file cabinets and scrambled phone lines, a man in black slams down a coded letter. "We have a breach," he mutters to his earpiece, voice shaking. New melodies moving on the dark web. Someone wants the original song. The message arrives on my phone as a string of broken musical notes out of key, my warning that it's no longer just the council who's listening. Back at the temple, an elder stands watch at the door, thumb brushing a fragment of the shattered amulet in his pocket. He locks eyes with me, whispering, "Trust no courier, not even the council itself. Someone's always listening behind their own mask." In the inner courtyard, a tech agent poses as a cleaning contractor, earpiece blinking red, scanning for hidden recorders. The air feels charged, uneasy. At a nearby cafe, an ally slides a napkin across the table, a sigil sketched in graphite beneath the rim of my teacup. They want to digitize it, package it, use it for what shouldn't be used. She glances over her shoulder at a cluster of strangers checking their phones, pulse quickening. "If you need a way out, call the number on the inner ring. Don't wait until the signal goes out for real." My trust cracks in new ways. Every message could be a lifeline or a trap. Somewhere under blinking surveillance lights, a government official reads the original transcript of our ritual and scrawls "urgent" in the margin. I replay the threats in my mind. Whispered ultimatums from a voice on a wire. "Share the melody, and your silence is broken. Don't, and you'll never see those you love safe again." The elders convene once more in secret, hands tightening around old tokens as they debate. If the world's guardians can't hold the song, who can? Down the hall, I hear the clink of chain against stone. A young apprentice locking away the only surviving recording in a lead-lined drawer, heart pounding as footsteps echo closer from the stairwell. Just before midnight, a single message pings onto my screen. A string of red dead frequencies, a threat and a choice tangled together. I press my palm to the pendant hidden beneath my shirt, feeling its steady warmth, a last defense if all else is lost. Above ground, the wind shifts, carrying the song's faintest refrain. Even as those with power circles and schemes, I am not alone. The protectors, visible and unseen, brace for what comes. And the question hangs. In an age where every secret is hunted, who will you trust when the melody comes calling? The elders gather again in the candle-hazed chamber, there, faces drawn, every movement slow and deliberate. I stand at the center, hands balled tight, the pendant's weight heavy against my heart. The Master Elder's voice is low, raw with the sleeplessness weighing upon us all. The song is not yours alone, he declares, glancing at the circle of tokens ringing the stone table. Do you see what its echo has unleashed? We must decide. Do we silence it for safety, or allow the world to listen and risk awakening what has slept? A younger council member leans forward, features etched by doubt. Last night my daughter hummed part of the melody in her dreams. Unprompted, she traced a spiral on her sheet. Isn't it already loose? He looks at me, fear and wonder splitting his gaze. Across from him, an elder grips his token, knuckles white. Silence has protected us before, he says, voice cracking. Some music seals wounds that can't ever heal if reopened. There is always a cost. Always. My throat tightens. If we keep it locked, the memory will change shape, not die. It will find other ways to surface. Maybe gentler, maybe worse. A hush settles. The council turns to the circle of mystic allies standing at the walls. Geomancers, a Sufi with worry in his eyes, a West African drummer with hands trembling over a silent djembe. The Sufi speaks up. If this song has chosen its time, it will be reborn, silence or not. But chosen ones are not born for comfort. A scientist, notebook open, voice quiet. We can only trust intent. The world will use what it's given, but guided knowledge is different from secrets buried in fear. Candle smoke curls upward, swirling into odd spirals that cast gentle shadows on the domed ceiling. The elders form a ring, hands joined. Choose, urges the Master Elder, not with power or pride, but with the heart. My own heartbeat thunders in my ears as I step into the center, air thick as ritual. I choose awakening, I say, voice shaking but clear. Still, I vow protection, guidance where there is danger, openness where there is hope. I share, but never without guardians. My words settle, each carried on the hush. The youngest elder nods, relief and uncertainty mingling. Let the sound teach, not just stir. Let its keepers show the way. A circle of hands tightens around the table, talismans warming, heartbeat and breath synchronizing for a moment of fragile unity. The final decision isn't only mine, it's the world now. Every listener another link in the unseen chain. Outside, the wind rises, candle flames draw wild spirals, marking the start of something both perilous and beautiful. A melody freed, a secret claimed, an awakening begun. If you held such a melody, would you guard it from the world, or share it despite the unknown? Tell us how you'd choose below. Sunset stains the sky in shifting violets as I step from the council's threshold, song echoing behind me. Down the avenues, children skip snail shell, spirals into sand. humming fragments that drift on the cooling breeze. Everywhere, in city parks, crowded trains, night markets, strangers pause mid-step, heads tilting as if a faint harmony edges the wind. A mother in Norway lights a lantern, watching as her twins swirl new chalk lines at their door. "They sing in sleep now," she murmurs to her neighbor, wondering, edging her smile. "Songs I never taught them, notes shining, low and fierce." Across the world, a group gathers at a stony hilltop, voices braiding melody with prayer as northern lights ripple above, veins of green and blue shimmering with sound. Phone screens flash with shared clips. A jazz musician improvises a run, somehow matching an elder's chant in Ghana. A saffron-robed monk in Bangkok hears a student whistling a tune lost for 2 generations. Everywhere, listeners exchange the spiral marks they've drawn on coffee lids, notebooks, subway walls, bells. In homes, teachers guide students in new rituals, combining dance, colored ribbons, and gentle humming, each tradition bending to fit old fears and habits with new hope. Skeptics tap their feet to rhythms they swear they once mocked. Even doubters catch themselves humming as dawn creeps up. No one can trace the song's journey. At Kyoto's river, blue carp surface at dusk to the sound of hidden flutes, and in the outback, auroras undulate with faint, shimmering notes, the melody braided through sky and earth. Dreamers wake to find the spiral's trace in last night's sand and today's laughter. In every country, at every sacred site, rituals blossom. Candles, drums, ribbons, and bells blend. Scars and hopes, scars and bridges. Before the night ends, even the elders find themselves humming softly, uncertain if they're protecting the secret or setting it free. A single child, spiral drawn on her cheek, stands by the window. She listens. Somewhere above, stars pulse faint and golden, as if singing back in quiet answers. I walk beneath the faded arches as dawn settles, soft and private, across a city still humming with last night's mysteries. My song's echo lingers everywhere, sketched in spirals beneath park benches, sung in fragments by children in line at bakeries, whistled low by elders keeping watch at crossroads. The pendant, a spiral carved into silver, rests against my chest, heavy with memory and promise. Shops open, slow and careful. Graffiti of sigils and staff marks ripple along cafe windows, traced not in rebellion, but in acknowledgement. I glance at a woman stirring coffee, her finger absent-mindedly circling the rim. She looks up, offers a knowing smile, a flicker of shared secret, a listener's oath passed without words. At the old library steps, a teenager scribbles the melody in pencil, weaving it between math problems and poetic lines. A grocer hums the forbidden tune, bagging apples for a stranger. Everywhere, those who heard and those who only felt its current move quietly, changed. Each carries a shard of wonder, of burden, of unnamed courage, woven into routines, dreams, and the hush before sleep. The world is not more certain now. It is stranger, yes, but also richer. Listeners cross in the street, some fearful, some lit from within, carrying the song in their pockets and prayers. There is a new patience, a tension between the call to protect and the longing to be seen. And as evening falls, I hear it again. A single bell, a hush, and a last shimmering chord drifting just beyond reach. Braver now, I step from shadow to sunlight, listening for the next voice willing to join the harmony, and hoping that when the call comes, the world will meet it with both humility and hope. If this journey awakened you, subscribe for more mysteries, and tell us, What melody or memory would you risk everything to protect, and why?